My name is Nick Dekker. I write a blog called Breakfast with Nick. I've been writing it since June of 2007. My background is actually more kind of arts education. Went to school and was teaching theater history and dramatic literature. I started doing it just very casually as I wrote enough posts, and I wrote about Columbus, built it up to the point where I had enough of a following that people would start checking the blog to see what are new places we could go to. People started emailing and interacting and suggesting places, just continued to grow from there. I chose something that was just something on a very base level I was very excited about. I had always loved breakfast ever since I was a kid. My family, I would get all excited when we go out Saturday morning for breakfast. I started the blog because I wanted to remember those places. I wanted to have some sort of documentation of what the experience was like, what we had. I've always tried to keep the writing very casual and approachable. I try to be honest about the fact that I don't have a formal culinary background, so it's not like I went to culinary school, so I didn't want to start acting like I knew all of these things. Instead, I tried to use the blog as a way for me to learn and to kind of honestly share my experiences and what I was discovering, and hopefully readers could learn along with me. Creating consistent and honest content has been the biggest thing. I got some advice early on from a fellow food blogger who, she said very simply, the best thing that you can do for your readers is to be honest and consistent. If I gush about every single place that we go, no one's going to really trust my voice anymore because every place seems awesome and they might not have that same experience. And I think that's served me pretty well because having a trusted voice has helped build the readership. Definitely having images, especially because what I do is food related. So I want people to be able to see the food. There needs to be some nuts and bolts, like information, what's the address, how do you connect with them on social media, what are the hours, even details about do they cater to certain dietary restrictions, are they really good for families. I used to write in categories of talking about the impressions, so how we got there, the story, what we knew about it, the atmosphere, the service, the food, and then sort of an overall kind of roundup of my thoughts. And eventually I broke away from that in favor of storytelling, of just sort of sharing, here's the story of us getting to the restaurant, here's what we knew about it ahead of time, here's some interesting things that happened. That's kind of become essentially the story, good photos, and I think helpful information that a reader would need to be able to take the blog post and turn it into a practical experience. Try to find as specific as a topic as you can, and I've done the technique. I've even used it myself at times when I've gotten stuck of even just taking a sheet of paper or up on a chalkboard or something, writing a general topic up on the board, and then thinking of what are all the little subset topics that could come off of that. So if you just say cars is your topic, what are things you could write about? Well, you could talk about new cars, you could talk about rebuilding cars, you could talk about old cars, you could talk about reviewing dealerships, and start doing something like that, and you might find, hey, I'm interested in cars, but I'm really interested in historic cars, and write about the type of people that own those cars and keep them up and visit car shows. So anything you can do, I think, to push yourself to be specific will help you in the long run as you're trying to make yourself an expert or build your own interest in a topic.